Welcome to Book Buzz Reviews and Summaries. The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. Imagine stepping into a room and commanding attention without a single word. People turn toward you, drawn by a force they cannot name. Their curiosity ignites, their desire stirs. They feel inexplicably compelled to watch, to listen, to follow. This is not luck. This is not charm alone. This is the art of seduction, the timeless, invisible power that has shaped history. Toppled leaders and inspired legends, seduction is more than romance. It is the subtle manipulation of emotion, the skillful orchestration of attention, the delicate dance between desire and anticipation. It is knowing what people crave, what they fear, what they long for, and becoming the irresistible answer. Cleopatra, Casanova, Mae West, they were not merely beautiful or witty. They mastered the currents of human desire, moving through hearts and minds with precision, elegance, and daring. And now, the same knowledge is within your reach. Every glance, every word, every gesture can be a thread that draws others closer. But beware, seduction is a force, not a toy. Used recklessly, it can burn as quickly as it captivates. Mastered, it becomes a power that transforms not just relationships, but your very presence in the world. Step carefully. Step boldly. Enter the world where desire is currency, and seduction is the art of turning fascination into influence. Part 1. The Seductive Mind. Imagine a world where every glance, every word, every pause carries the power to draw people in, like a moth circling the flame. The art of seduction is not merely a book. It is a map of human desire, a guide to understanding the currents of attraction that flow invisibly between people. In this first part, Greene does not just tell you what seduction is. He immerses you in the seductive mind, the architecture of influence, and the subtle psychology of power that can transform ordinary interactions into irresistible allure. At the heart of seduction is psychology. Greene insists that seduction is not about overt persuasion or manipulation. It is about understanding human weaknesses, desires, and dreams, and using this knowledge to create a space where people feel compelled to give you their attention, their admiration, and eventually, their devotion. Seduction is a dance, and the first step is always awareness. The seducer observes with precision. Every gesture, every word, every secret longing is a clue. Greene emphasizes that knowing your target, their fears, their fantasies, their hidden vulnerabilities, is not exploitation. It is the art of connection. Greene introduces us to the archetypes of seduction, the masks and personas that have enchanted history's most irresistible figures. There is the rake, overflowing with desire and charm, making others feel desired in return. The ideal lover mirrors the unfulfilled longings of their target, becoming the living embodiment of someone's dreams. The dandy, free from convention, exudes independence and mystery, drawing people toward them without effort. And the natural, whose innocence and spontaneity bypass skepticism and inspire trust. Each archetype is not a rigid mold, but a set of tools. Greene's genius lies in showing how seduction is a performance of the psyche, a careful, deliberate crafting of identity to spark desire in others. Yet Greene warns, seduction is a double-edged sword. Power must be wielded with grace. Too obvious, too forceful, and you risk arousing suspicion or resistance. Subtlety is the lifeblood of seduction. Small gestures, fleeting touches, suggestive comments. These are the instruments that coax fascination from curiosity. Seduction requires patience, timing, and a keen sense of human emotion. It is strategic play, akin to chess, where every move is calculated but appears effortless. Finally, in this opening section, Greene lays the foundation for understanding the broader social dance of seduction. People are constantly seeking emotional resonance, validation, and escape. The seducer offers these in carefully measured doses. They become the answer to unspoken questions. The release from hidden tensions, the spark of excitement that turns monotony into passion. It is in mastering this delicate balance between giving just enough and withholding just enough that the seducer attains their power. In essence, part 1 of the art of seduction is about the inner transformation of the self. To seduce effectively, one must first understand desire in all its forms, cultivate awareness, and learn to move through social spaces with both elegance and precision. Green paints a vivid picture. Seduction is not a mere flirtation. It is the art of influence, the mastery of human emotion, and the ability to become unforgettable. Part 2. The strategies of seduction. Now that we have glimpsed the seductive mind, the inner world, the archetypes, the psychology of desire, Green turns our attention to the battlefield of seduction itself, the strategies that transform understanding into irresistible influence. Here, seduction becomes deliberate, almost tactical, a carefully orchestrated performance in which every word, look, and movement is designed to captivate, disarm, and enthrall. At the core of Green's strategy is psychological manipulation through charm, attention, and unpredictability. He reminds us that people are driven by emotion far more than by logic. The seducer exploits this truth masterfully. One of the first strategies is creating a sense of mystery. By revealing just enough about yourself to intrigue and withholding enough to fascinate, you spark curiosity. The human mind is naturally drawn to puzzles, to the unresolved. Every secret, every subtle contradiction becomes a thread that draws your target inexorably closer. Think of Cleopatra, weaving herself into the imagination of Rome's leaders, making herself unforgettable not just through beauty, but through enigma and allure. Next is the art of stirring emotional intensity. Green demonstrates that seduction is not casual. It is an emotional roller coaster. Excitement, longing, fear, desire. They are levers to be pulled with care. A fleeting compliment, a sudden withdrawal, a subtle flirtation. All these create tension and anticipation, drawing the target deeper into your orbit. The seducer does not merely offer pleasure. They manipulate the ebb and flow of attention to heighten emotional stakes, making the interaction addictive. Green also emphasizes the power of indirectness and suggestion. Seduction rarely works through overt persuasion. It thrives in suggestion, in what is implied rather than stated. A glance, a tone, a carefully chosen word, these are often more powerful than direct action. The seducer knows that desire cannot be commanded. It must be awakened. Like Casanova with his letters and fleeting appearances, seduction is often subtle, appearing accidental or effortless. But every move is intentional, every gesture carefully calibrated. Another critical strategy is mirroring and playing to fantasies. Green teaches that seduction succeeds when you become a reflection of your target's deepest longings. People are irresistibly drawn to those who make them feel understood, seen, and desired. By embodying the qualities they secretly crave, whether excitement, reassurance, or forbidden thrill, the seducer becomes not just a companion, but a living dream. The target's desire grows not just for you, but for the reflection of themselves that you mirror back. Green is careful to note the importance of patience and timing. Seduction is a slow art, rarely achieved in a single encounter. Strategic retreats, sudden advances, and prolonged anticipation all heighten fascination. The seducer must read signals like a chess master, knowing when to advance, when to retreat, and when to let tension build until the moment of irresistible release. Finally, Part 2 introduces the idea that seduction is an art of transformation, not coercion. The goal is not domination, but influence, not mere conquest, but the creation of desire so compelling that the target willingly surrenders to it. Green frames seduction as both a dance and a game, a delicate interplay of power, emotion, and perception, where mastery requires insight, subtlety, and above all, an understanding of human nature in all its complexity. By the end of this part, the reader realizes that seduction is not an act of happenstance. It is a meticulous, deliberate strategy that combines observation, psychology, timing, and subtlety. Those who master it can command attention, create fascination, and leave indelible marks on the hearts and minds of others. Part 3. Mastery, Dangers, and the Seductive Life. By now we have seen the seductive mind and learned the strategic moves of this subtle, intoxicating art. In Part 3, Green turns to the pinnacle of seduction, mastery, and the ethical, psychological, and emotional dimensions of wielding such power. Seduction, he warns, is not merely a game of tricks. It is a force of influence that, like fire, can warm or burn depending on the hand that holds it. At the heart of mastery is self-transformation. Green teaches that seduction begins with yourself. The most irresistible individuals are those who exude confidence, magnetism, and mystery, not as a facade, but as a natural extension of their being. Seduction is most potent when it is authentic, when it flows from charisma and self-assuredness. To seduce others, one must first seduce oneself. Cultivate style, presence, charm, and emotional intelligence, because the world is drawn to those who appear complete, intriguing, and unapologetically alive. Green also warns of the dangers of overreach. Seduction is intoxicating and addictive, both to the seducer and the target. If wielded recklessly, it can destroy relationships, reputations, and even the seducer's own emotional equilibrium. History is littered with examples of brilliant seducers undone by hubris or misjudged timing. Mastery requires self-control, restraint, and an acute sense of ethical responsibility. The seducer must know when to pull back, when to let desire flourish naturally, and when to abandon the pursuit entirely. A key lesson in this final part is resistance and reversal. Green emphasizes that not everyone will succumb, and not every effort will succeed. Seduction often provokes suspicion, jealousy, or defensive reactions. The truly skilled seducer anticipates resistance, turning obstacles into opportunities. A retreat is not failure, it is strategy. A flirtatious smile, a subtle compliment, a hint of absence can reignite curiosity and desire. Mastery lies in understanding the rhythm of pursuit and withdrawal, the dance of tension and release that keeps fascination alive. Finally, Green elevates seduction to a life philosophy. Seduction is not merely about romance or sexual conquest. It is about creating influence, inspiring devotion, and leaving a mark on others' hearts and minds. It is the art of moving through the world with grace, awareness, and power, turning ordinary interactions into moments of intrigue and magnetism. Seduction at its highest level becomes a tool for leadership, persuasion, and personal transformation. Those who master it can achieve influence that transcends superficial charm. They become unforgettable presences in the lives of everyone they encounter. Part 3 closes with a resonant truth. Seduction is both a science and an art, a game of psychology and emotion, a mastery of timing, patience, and self-awareness. It is a discipline that rewards subtlety, insight, and strategy, and punishes arrogance, impulsivity, and ethical blindness. Green leaves the reader with the ultimate challenge: to understand desire, to refine oneself, and to wield seduction responsibly, turning it into a force that enchants, inspires, and transforms. And now, the curtain falls and the lessons remain. You have seen that seduction is not mere charm, nor manipulation alone. It is the art of understanding desire, of moving through hearts and minds with precision, subtlety, and grace. Those who master it do not simply attract. They inspire obsession, fascination, and devotion. Remember, seduction is a force that can create wonder or ignite danger. Use it recklessly and it consumes. Use it wisely and it transforms. Every glance, every word, every pause is a brushstroke on the canvas of human emotion. The world responds to those who can wield this invisible power. Step forward, not as a player in life, but as a master of influence, a connoisseur of attention, a sculptor of desire. Make every encounter unforgettable. Leave a mark that lingers long after you have gone. In the end, seduction is not just about others. It is about becoming irresistible in your own life, mastering the currents of human emotion, and walking through the world with power, elegance, and unforgettable presence. Thanks for listening to Book Buzz Reviews and Summaries.